Hello and welcome to Wrestling Roundup. This past week, wrestling legend Vader passed away, and to begin the show we will be observing a 10-bell salute to remember him by.
It's time! It's time! It's Vader time!
Hey, you listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM 89.0 and ArrowFM. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
So we're gonna roll with Money in the Bank 2018. 11 matches, technically 10, to get through. But we're going to start off SmackDown Tag Team Championships on the pre-show. Bludgeon Brothers obviously retaining against the Club.
Yeah, it was still a really good match, though. Both of them. Also, the rematch on SmackDown was good.
To me, I don't know, it felt like, obviously the Bludgeon Brothers were not going to lose their titles at Money in the Bank. And then with SmackDown rolling along and we got the debut of Sanity against the Usos of all people, not some just random team, I feel like the collision course is already set.
Yeah, it definitely is possible. And it makes ton of sense that Sanity would come after, if they're going to be in the tag team division, they would come after the Usos, the stalwart of the division.
Yeah.
Yes, the New Day has tons of history in their own right. They have 3 people, but it makes more sense for them to start with the Usos. Because the Usos have been in WWE for 9 years, been together for 9 years as a tag team in WWE, and they have just as much success as the New Day did.
Mm-hmm.
And they won that major feud, so that put them as a rung above the New Day to begin with.
Yeah, to be fair, the tag team division in SmackDown is quite booming, I'd be open to Sanity versus Usos, Sanity versus Club, Sanity versus New Day, Sanity versus Bludgeon Brothers. The possibilities are not endless because there's a limited number of talent, but quite open in terms of feuds. It's not like a tag team debuts, they run through one great feud and then there's nothing left for them.
Raw.
Pretty much. Throwing some shade at Raw. But yeah, I think Sanity, in terms of the plate is there. It's up to them to fill it, and we're going to see what they're going to do. So far, liking them, but I liked them on NXT, so I'm kind of shrouded.
But now we have Eric Young, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe all on SmackDown, all in the WWE.
Yeah.
On the main roster.
Obviously,
SmackDown has become TNA 2014.
But better in every way.
but better in every possible way, yes.
2014, huh? I don't know. Jeff got released before
2012.
2012? Was Jeff still there?
Jeff was off again because of his issues. But yeah, he was there in 2012.
There we
because
go.
At the beginning of the year was no, that was 2011. I was going to say bring up the Victory Road thing, but that was in 2011.
Yeah. Either way, there's a lot of ex-TNA talent there.
Yeah.
But yeah, at least with Eric Young, completely different, absolutely nothing like it. And the other guys have shown themselves to be decent talents. AJ Styles, he's on the cover of WWE
celebrated
2K19.
Yeah, and yesterday was his 365th total day as WWE champion between his 2 reigns, which means he's been a champion for a year.
It's quite a long time. I'm trying to pull up how well it is here on the rankings. That's 15th.
It would be 15th. Yes, he'll pass The Rock in either 4 or 15 days, depending on the list you use.
I'm seeing that here.
And then he'll pass Shawn Michaels if he survives Rusev.
And then you got CM Punk, but that's quite a whiles away in terms of closeness.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say AJ Styles is near his end either.
No.
So, we'll get to AJ. We're skipping ahead a little bit. Because Daniel Bryan, Big Cass, this match also has a lot to discuss.
Yeah, it's an old-fashioned 3 strikes and you're out rule situation.
To put this into perspective, we're filming this on Thursday night here in New Zealand. Is it Wednesday morning in the States?
It's 2:39 a.m. Tuesday.
Okay.
Or Thursday.
So, if any other news breaks before we film this and it goes to air about, 100% solid reasons or anything else, we're sorry we didn't get to it. We're operating off what information we have at the moment. And at the moment, it seems like he was just a little bit of a dick.
Yeah. Issues with him drinking. Issues with him just being a jerk backstage. Him going off script with the whole thing with the little person a couple weeks back.
The thing about that incident to me is that everyone seems to describe it as off script. He went against direct orders from the man who owns the company.
Yeah. And that same man is the one that called him in for a meeting and fired him personally.
And then
Something
didn't get
that
future
does
endeavored.
not happen often.
Even JTG didn't get that.
Yeah.
And
that
goodbye.
Yeah, and that's the reason why his release did not wish him well in his
future
endeavors.
Yeah, there's the door. It's crazy to me.
Carmella the most successful of the trio.
That's where I'm going. It's crazy to me that NXT comes around. There's so much hype around this trio: Enzo, Cass, Carmella. Oh my god, they're amazing. 2 of them go up to the main roster, leave Carmella down a little bit to stew in her own juices. Enzo, Cass break off, do a big thing, it's huge, everybody's loving it. They go their own singles ways, there's some injuries here and there, and then they just plummet off the face of the earth. And then Carmella's just sitting here, which we'll talk about her later on, just completely, unarguably top of her division, de facto by holding the championship. And Enzo and Cass are, I can't even say future endeavored, because neither of them got future endeavored. Fired.
Yeah.
I would not have expected in a million years that's how that trio went out. But we do have limited time, so we've got to keep rolling. Bobby Lashley, Sami Zayn.
Pass.
Sami is injured though, just as a talking point.
Yeah.
So this match obviously quickly bowl him over, knock out Sami a little while, and Bobby can just move on to being in the main event.
Yeah, I think I had hopes for Bobby, but he is not going to work out. Not the level they wanted him to.
Mm-hmm. I have a smidge more faith. I'm going to give it a little longer. A smidgen longer.
He botched the most simplest of promos. And on Raw, and because his whole point was him supposed to be saying that him not Roman Reigns could be the one that beat Brock, but in the promo he said that he was Roman Reigns.
Bobby, why?
And he had to backtrack and correct himself.
As a famous 14-year-old once said, everybody makes mistakes, but Bobby kind of makes a few too many mistakes. So I'm going to move on from...
Yeah, he needs somebody to talk for him.
Yeah. Just give him Paul Heyman. Let's move on. Seth Rollins, Elias, did not go the way we wanted.
No.
By any facet of the imagination. Talking about the next night as well. Oh. At least the line giving them a Dolph Ziggler's chance in hell still stands true. I would have given Dolph Ziggler a 0.0001% chance of winning this title the next night. The bugger did it.
Yes. I thought that the plan was going to be Rollins runs through both of them these next 2 weeks, survives them, beats them in a handicap match or something week 3, leading up to Elias, who takes advantage of a very, very tired Seth Rollins to take the title at Extreme Rules.
They did seem to be hammering into us that Seth Rollins is defending this title very often. He's defending it all over the world. It seemed like that could be the way they go.
But no, they decided to put the title on Mr. Black Hole.
Couldn't they at least have put it on the taller guy? Like, if you're gonna do this storyline, couldn't you just... Like, I'm physically trying to pick up the title off Dolph Ziggler's shoulder in a photo and put it on Drew McIntyre's. Just like, if you are going to do this. I don't know where this is gonna lead. I don't care where this is gonna lead. I just want it over and done with, and it's been started it's like, happened 3 days ago. Just end it, please. What do we got? We got time for one more. Alexa Bliss wins the women's Money in the Bank match, and we're gonna roll this in with the match later on in the night as well, for obvious reasons. So, Alexa Bliss wins, holds the briefcase. Initial reactions.
Yeah. There was some swearing going on.
I know, right?
And
Lana
then
didn't
some
win.
prayer, and then something I don't normally do, some prayers, which went unanswered.
Oh, it's because you didn't eat your vitamins.
And I didn't do any training.
I'm looking at the match. Obviously, Natalya was a hot favorite to do this very thing that ended up happening. Lana was my outside pick. Ember Moon was there. You could have given it to Charlotte. You could have put it on the hot Becky. Sasha Banks, maybe with the feud
Instead,
with
you
Bayley.
made Becky look like a complete idiot by opening up the actual hook, but not even attempting to take the briefcase off of the hook.
There were 3 really badly timed spots in this match, and they stuck out like a sore thumb. And Becky was in 2 of them that I remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, Naomi had a really stupid one with the thing being off center, but that was nowhere near as bad as actually unhooking the thing.
I don't know what went wrong communication-wise. I don't know what went wrong full stop in this. It was not good to look at. It was not pretty. They close-upped on it. They showed it being unhooked. It's the classic, like, a wrestler's number one weakness is being surprised by another wrestler. She was frozen in fear at what Alexa Bliss may do to her because she got back into the ring. I'm trying to come up with an explanation here. It's all I got.
Yeah, they played it off like she was just a rung too low to be able to reach up and actually take it off the briefcase. But the thing was that she was at least high enough to be able to unhook it. So why couldn't she remove it?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the winner either, and that's bad because I'm a very large Alexa Bliss fan. Purely because of what happened later on in the night.
Yep. We're now at 17:19, and we'll get to that later.
Yep. I will just talk about it now. Raw Women's Championship match. Ronda Rousey, Nia Jax, goes 11 minutes.
It was a really, really good match. For their experience level, especially Ronda's, it was pretty good.
I know everyone looked at Ronda's debut match and were going, it had Triple H in it, it had Kurt Angle in it, and Stephanie's not that bad. And then it came to this one, and I was like, oh, it's with Nia Jax. I'm not sure about this one. It exceeded expectations.
Yeah, I think with more polish, she still does need some. But I think she's going to be something good.
Will she be a Kurt
She's
Angle?
already. I don't know about that. There's only one Kurt Angle after all.
True.
But with that said, the sky is the limit for her. She just needs to work more on her ability to talk. And I will say what they did on Raw, definitely worked. It got a lot of people interested in her.
Yeah.
So I think they're getting closer to where they need to be with her. And she's getting closer, and the more experience she gets in the ring, the better, obviously, she will be. She's already got a strong foundation anyway.
Well, she's got 30 days to practice. But I guess to get to that point, we got to talk about the end of the match. It was via DQ, Alexa Bliss coming in, messing up the match, and cashing in her briefcase to become the 5-time?
Yep,
Women's
3-time Raw, 2-time SmackDown. And for her 17th pay-per-view with a title match in the last 19 that she's been eligible for.
Yep. To be fair, we expected this match outcome with a different person. We expected this to be a Natalia spot where it would make some storyline sense.
In a way, it was storyline sense, but they went in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Because they went with the Nia Bliss storyline instead of the one we thought we were going to get.
Yeah. And then Rousey goes and gets herself suspended just so we can have a little bit of a match between Alexa Bliss and Nia. And then presumably move on to a Rousey fight afterwards. Is it SummerSlam after that?
SummerSlam is the pay-per-view after Extreme Rules.
So there, Rousey wins the title at SummerSlam.
And then holds it up until WrestleMania to face Charlotte.
Makes sense.
Who would have won the Women's Royal Rumble.
I'm doing some quick math at the moment. So Alexa Bliss has been on the main roster for 701 days. And she has held a title for 448 days. So she's held a women's championship belt for 64% of her time on the main roster.
But Roman Reigns is the most shoved down people's throats superstar in WWE.
Of course. We can't forget about Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I could only imagine the outrage if what we just said was true about Roman Reigns. That's true about Alexa Bliss.
All right, well we got to play a song because we're running low on time here, so we got to get through Rusev's song and then still talk about all the rest of Money in the Bank and why we're playing Rusev's song. If you haven't watched SmackDown, there's still plenty to go. But first off, Rusev's song for you here now.
Rusev Machka.
And you're back with Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, Grady, Josh, Money in the Bank. We still got like 4 more matches to go. Let's start with Roman Reigns, the man we were just talking about. The internet's favorite son, in the internet's favorite match against the internet's second favorite son. Was it doomed?
The crowd was doomed to begin with. The match itself, it wasn't bad. But the crowd was never going to give it a chance. And so there was nothing they could do except pretty much just throw up a giant middle finger to the crowd, which they kind of did.
Not literally.
But there was several times when Roman was just playing around with the crowd. So yeah, it was what it was.
To be fair, you did book Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal in Chicago.
Yeah.
You couldn't expect anything else going into it.
Nope.
And Jinder wasn't beating Roman. So let's roll on. Let's talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship. Carmella handedly defeating Asuka and clearly cementing herself at the top of the SmackDown Women's division.
I see somebody's been into the Melade.
Drinking it all night long.
Yeah, it was a decent match. For what it was a very decent match. And much to my chagrin, the ending.
To be fair, I say all this, I'm not a huge fan of Ellsworth myself. But he's here.
I wanted him to come out during the during the men's Money in the Bank ladder match and get destroyed by Braun Strowman as a full circle moment. I did not want him involved with this match.
I think when the rumors were floating around, though, we all knew he was going to be involved in this one.
Yeah, it doesn't change the fact that I didn't want it.
We can hope and dream as much as we want. It can't change reality. All that I can see is that this probably still leads to Asuka grabbing that title at some point.
Yeah, because Asuka's definitely not done with Ellsworth or Carmella.
Maybe it's a quick in and out visit for Ellsworth.
Maybe. I thought, well, if they're going to do this, then have him bring out his stupid little goofy title of his.
Stupid little goofy title. What a way to put it. I don't remember what promotion it's for. I'll Google really
I think it's
quickly.
just one he made.
Was it?
I don't know.
I know he has a title from one promotion.
Yeah, I'm talking about the intergender one.
Yeah. It says other titles, so it might not actually be for a promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it just did it. Okay. I thought it was
That's
for
why
a
I
promotion.
said it was a stupid little goofy title.
No, because then that would promote cross-gender wrestling. Can't have
His
that.
last match in WWE was a cross-gender match.
You make a good point.
Was the intergender match with Becky Lynch.
Yeah. I'm going to ignore that and move on to our next match on Money in the Bank. AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, last man standing match, 32 minutes. Shinsuke Nakamura robbed by the fact that the ref did not count in Japanese, despite him picking the match stipulation.
Yeah, it was a good match for what it was.
Was it better than their other two?
It was the best match they've had so far, and I that was going to be the end of the feud, and that AJ Styles was going to retain, because I figured if they got to this point, this was going to be a blow off because of just the fact that they'd done so many of them, and that if you weren't going to put the title on Naka at any point prior to that, then you weren't going to do it there, especially with the possibility of the Money in the Bank briefcase floating around.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to what's coming in the very near future for both of these men. Shinsuke Nakamura, Jeff Hardy. I never would have picked this, but I'm very interested to see how it plays out. But more importantly, the number one contender for the WWE Championship, they finally did it.
Yeah, I finally threw up my hands when Rusev won. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done trying to predict what WWE's gonna do based on storylines, because apparently they're not playing with storylines right now.
Nope. SmackDown's just giving you what you want, hard and fast, don't care about the storyline.
It should have been Miz.
You can say shoulda, coulda, woulda as much as you want. It's Rusev. It's Rusev. I am through the moon that we get to see Rusev. To be fair, The Miz has been shorted out twice now in 2 matches that he should have won. Miz is just getting screwed. Why doesn't he have Roman Reigns' management is screwing me gimmick? But hey, sorry Miz. Let's get on to the other match that screwed The Miz. The Money in the Bank ladder match for the World Championship contract.
I fell victim to, well, they've built him up so much, there's no way he's going to win on Sunday.
They changed their mind as soon as you said you weren't picking him anymore.
It's like, it made no sense that I would have picked him when we did our previous show if he didn't win that fatal 4-way. If they left him buried under all that stuff on Raw, because that would have made him seem more human, more weaker, and not as much of a super juggernaut.
That's a good way to describe him. He is a juggernaut. He is nothing but that.
And so they pulled the trigger and gave Braun Strowman the briefcase.
I'm just crossing my fingers he doesn't do the good guy thing and announce it beforehand.
I kind of expect... Well, I'm going to guess that it'll probably be, much to the internet's chagrin, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, and then at the end of the match, here comes Braun.
Who does he cash in on?
The guy here who's there every day.
Yeah. I feel like there's 2 ways you could go with that, right? You cash in on the guy who's there every day, you have a feud, you can go on with it, and everybody will cheer the hell out of Braun because he's the one who cashed in on their least favorite person in the world. Or you can have Braun beat Brock Lesnar. I personally, if this is the match you're going to go with, the Reigns-Brock Lesnar match, I would not bet just yet on who he's going to cash in on, if he does.
I kind of expect the Rollins cash in during the match.
Maybe. I feel like that leaves us with so much unfinished business still with Reigns and Lesnar. To have yet another title match interrupted. But a feud can only go on for so long. As a side note, because we're running out of time, Monster in the Bank, stupid name.
Oh no, I like it. It's a pun.
Jared, you like anything that's a bloody pun?
Monstar in the bank,
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. It's been great talking to you.
baby.
Banning your puns from the next show. You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/WrestlingRadio, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio, and we'll see you next week.